Hello everyone, welcome to this series on how to crack JIPMAT. Today we are going to see the previous year's paper pattern of JIPMAT and its cutoff. Also, we will be seeing the strategy and ideal attempt to crack the JIPMAT and the prep plan for the same. So, if you look at the paper pattern of JIPMAT 2021 and 2022, in both the years the paper pattern was same. It had three sections: QA, that is quantitative ability, LR, that is logical reasoning, and VA, that is verbal ability. QA and LR had 33 questions each, verbal ability had 34 questions. The marking scheme goes this way: it is +4 for every correct answer and -1 for every incorrect answer. There is no sectional time limit, and total of 2.5 hours, that is 150 minutes, has been allotted to attempt this paper. There are no sectional cutoff, there is only an overall cutoff. However, IIM Jammu had said that there is a minimum 50 mark that every student, the student has to score in every section. Vis-a-vis IIM Bodh Gaya had mentioned that in every section one should score at least 30 percentile. Okay, so there are no the cutoff, but there was a minimum benchmark that they had mentioned, both the institute IIM Jammu and IIM Bodh Gaya. Now let's see the strategy to crack the exam. This exam is an exam of, it's a test your accuracy rather than the speed. If we compare the IPMAT Rohtak paper versus this JIPMAT paper, then we can clearly see that in Rohtak we have 2 hours versus 120 question. Here we have 2.5 hours versus only 100 question. So more than the speed, obviously speed is important, but more than that, accuracy is something that matters the most. You should focus on your strength, on your strength area, and try to attempt all question in that section and try to maximize the score there, because you will have ample of time to attempt the paper, and the level of difficulty of the question is also slightly on the lower side. You should your attempt should be close to 90 and above with a more than 90% accuracy. At least 90% accuracy, that will fetch you marks, that is 320 plus. Last year there was student who had converted IIM Jammu, IIM Bodh Gaya at 317 and 320. They did not disclose the cutoff, but we had students who have been scoring this much and they had converted. So this should be your ideal benchmark score at 320 plus should be your ideal target basically. There are students who had also scored 340 and 350, but 320 should be the ideal target. If you look at quantitative ability, so last year the breakup of the question was something like this: speed, time, distance, numbers, algebra, ratio, proportion had around 4 to 5 questions each. Percentage profit and loss, geometry, mensuration, had around 3-4 questions, trigonometry around 2-3 questions, and PNC probability around 2 odd questions. Averages and mixture, maybe 1 odd or 2 questions. This was the breakup last year. That's in 2022. In 2021, it was more or less same, plus or minus 1 here and there in every topic. There was one question on time and work also in 2021. So, but more or less you can say it was around this line. The paper is where the section was very easy as compared to the other entrance test, except for 2 or 3 questions which were not difficult. They were time consuming, they were lengthy. That's it. Okay, it was not difficult to crack. Many questions were based on direct formula, direct application, and hence out of 33 questions in quant, an ideal attempt should be 28 plus should be your target. You should be attempting at least 28. If you move to the next section, that is, the verbal ability and reading comprehension section, last year there was one RC, very small passage of around 100 words. If I compare last to last year, there were 2 RC. Last year there were only 1 RC, right? Otherwise, para-jumble, active, passive, direct, indirect, spot the error, figure of speech, antonyms, synonyms, fill in the blanks, and spelling, more or less everything remains the same. Numbers keeps on, changing, but otherwise more or less remains the same. If you look at the breakup, if you look at RC and para-jumble, 9 question. Otherwise, it is vocabulary and grammar heavy if you look at it. Okay, so the entire paper, if you remove those 9 questions, the entire paper is vocabulary and grammar based, right? And it's very achievable, this 30, more than 30 years, students generally attempt all questions in verbal section here. Anything more than 30 is something that you should be aiming at. And if we move to the next section, that is data interpretation and logical reasoning, In 2021, there was only one question on data interpretation. Last year, there were around 4 sets which had around 14-15 questions on data interpretation. So you can say almost approximately 45% of the section had a DI. This was a major change as compared to 2021. The next set of questions, it was purely based on analogy, coding, decoding, series, blurred relation, direction, Venn diagrams, logs, mathematical operations, and some arrangement question. There was no big puzzle or a matrix or groups and conditionality question last year, 2022. In 2021, there were questions on verbal reasoning and critical reasoning, which were surprisingly missing in 2022. Uh, but I mean, in 2023, you never know what it is going to be. Whatever it is, verbal reasoning also in 2021 was very difficult. In critical reasoning also, the options were such that one could eliminate the wrong answers very quickly. There were no confusing options given. So it's easy and scoring section overall. Okay, it's easy and scoring, and accuracy in this section can be cent%, can be very high, higher than verbal. Verbal might be slightly subjective when it comes to RC parajumble, but otherwise here it is very straightforward, right? And a student do score very high marks in this particular section. Ideal attempt out of 33 should be anything 30 or 30, more than 30. Overall prep plan, you should be attempting the IMS Sim, JIPMAT mock and analyze them. Analyze, using the tool that we have. We've been conducting the maximizer workshops for the last minute, score boost, boosting the score in each section. So revise and watch that section. And every day, because it's a speed-based exam, you should make sure that you're attempting more number of questions on a day-to-day basis. Like, so 40-minute, 30 QA questions, 40-minute, 35 LR question, maybe around 25 or 30 odd minute, and 40 VA question should be your target on a day-to-day basis, so that you maintain that speed during the last phase of your exam, right? And so that's it. All the best for the exam. Thank you very much.